Hello, everybody. Just seen an article post there today online or social media, but it was talking about Henry Ford, and it was actually today's date was the day that he resigned his position from Edison. I think it was Edison Illumination Company up in Detroit, where he was the superintendent, general manager, one of those, basically charged with keeping the lights running, because Edison was in charge of electricity into the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. Kind of a big deal, but he resigned. And Henry Ford, obviously he is the Ford in the Ford Motor Company. He was a farm boy out in Michigan, and he worked his way into town, taking various jobs, and he worked there 8 or 9 years. But he basically was on call 24/7, just keeping things running, keeping things going. So I gave him a lot of time to tinker with. His real passion was the newer automobiles, and his first company, actually he had a patent for a carburetor the year before. I think it's called Mayberry or Maryberry, something like that, because he named it after the mayor that's helped support him and fund his back him financially. But then within that next year or so, he was able to persuade some investors as mayor and others to help start the Detroit Automobile Company. And their first bike was a quadricycle, because a lot of those early cars were more just motorized bicycles or quadricycles, and that was what the early cars were, and that's what his quadricycle was that. And it failed, and then a couple years later they still had support, and that's when he created the Henry Ford Motor Company, and that lasted a year or so. And this was going up against, by that time there were, I think, something over 60 automobile manufacturers around Detroit, Michigan, and actually parts of Indiana. I think around Fort Wayne they had a lot of assemblers. But then that failed within a couple of years, and then he had kind of his last ditch effort. And if I remember another story, he was about to give up on that dream, but his wife persuaded him to use their insurance or borrow against insurance to get the money he needed to move forward. And fortunately he did, and that created that was the Ford Motor Company, and that created the Model A Ford, and then that progressed into the Model T Ford, which pretty well set his fortunes for a long time, and he became the dominant automobile manufacturer. But the big point is hang in there, because you don't know what things are going to progress. You don't know how things are going to turn out. And even with failures, another classic example of having some failures, but he didn't quit. As a mentor said, failure is not bad. It's just collecting data of what's obviously not working. And he learned from those things. He learned from those, and something I just heard the other day, a thought process is he learns skills regardless. Every one of those endeavors, skills were acquired that are transferable onto other situations. So no matter what, everything is useful, everything is vital, everything has value. So don't give up on anything. Keep moving forward. Here, because we are designed to expand, we are designed to create, we are designed to multiply and prosper. So that is our inherent nature. Too many times we get sidetracked and don't do it, but sometimes it's just part of that overall journey. Because Ford Motor Company never would have happened had not the two first companies failed. And the lessons he learned and the insights he gained, and just moving the ball down the field. So just so again, hang in there. Don't use setbacks as a stepping stone to move up onto the next thing. So have a great weekend. Stay gritty.